The name we've given this project, Reef House, is based on the fact that we're adjacent to Daniel's Reef. We're at Lee, which is an hour and a half or so north of Auckland on the east coast. The site itself is really quite a difficult one in that it's got something like 7 metres of crossfall from one point to the other, so that's like more than 2 stories of building things. So we've done a kind of a 2/3, 1/3 thing where about 1/3 of the house sits underneath and 2/3 sits on top. The idea of having what we call a split gable, and it's a cruciform in the sense that the plan is like a cross. We did that in order to make the gables, we're able to get some dimension to them and create some volume in the space. We've got a lower space through the middle, it's like an axis. So it's slightly compressed space that actually then blasts your eye right out to the water and out to the view. And as far as the timber goes, we selected DRYDEN's wood oil, which has both got an interior and an exterior version. So the idea is that it's a greyish wash. So it looks very similar to what weathered cedar looks like. So we get a consistent look from day one, but we also give it some oil treatment that means that we're actually giving the timber some natural conditioning straight away. As we know, that's always good for timber as it settles into its own new environment. Another technique we use is this idea of what we call living on the veranda, where we can slide the doors and you can literally lean on a rail and you're on the veranda. We're not having to build an external element. We've also used an external element as well, facing out towards the northeast, which picks up the island view. So I guess it's this notion of having a lot of different nodes and spaces within a house that you can occupy at different times of the day. Downstairs the program is a large bedroom bunk room with storage, another double-sized bedroom, a rumpus room with a pull-out couch. Because we already had a bathroom on the lower level, we thought this is a good spot. You can sit in this bar and look out to sea. With this climate modifier room, what we've done is have a series of pivot doors or hinge doors, and they're double glazed. So you close them down to keep the heat in, but in summer they'd remain open the whole time just to let the air flow through the building. It has a polycarbonate roof space, but it's open up the top for ventilation. So any planting that has air moving across it acts kind of like a natural air conditioner. It brings the moisture out of the plants and it can run through as long as you draw a draft. I guess for many years New Zealand architects have looked overseas to Europe, and we've been through those terrible periods of Miami Vice and Tuscan villas and things like that, and I think over the last at least decade or more, I think we've started to say, why don't we make architecture that's of our place, of our time, and it reflects the way we live as Kiwis in this amazing landscape that we have.